have a bunch of work to do and a kid who's going to be born later this month, so I need to focus on my work. So I'm going to hop off here. Thank you. Really good conversation, though.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
So I hopped on just to reinforce the point. Like I grew up in a community with a lot of televangelism that is exactly the kind of money that you're talking about, that just pours money into Israel and is obsessed with the dispensationalism, very John Hagee kind of stuff for as much. Yeah.
John Hagee is very much behind all of this stuff.
Yes. Which, like, living in San Antonio right now, not for long, but while I still live here, I'm just down the road from him, basically. In fact, my godfather's son, who I spend time with, ran into his grandson just a few days ago, and was he's saying the kind of thing that a Orthodox Christian from Palestine would say, and he was coming in hard at him. So, but like, it's no joke the amount of money that those dispensationalist, evangelical, Pentecostal types throw into this. People can't underestimate that at all.
Yeah, and look, a lot of it is small dollar donations. A lot of it is a lot of small dollar donations.
Yeah, this is like Bernie Sanders style funding of absolutely.
And people don't really understand the real power of AIPAC is not the money. It's the Christian voters. These Christian voters, Ted Cruz, there's a reason why Ted Cruz was saying the things he was on Tucker Carlson, because he knows his voters expect him to say that.
Like, even if I were to accept him being sincere, it would be plausible to me, right? That's just kind of the worldview that he comes from. It sort of has an idea about that, and like that's his Christian nominalism to some degree, and that's just how things are. He doesn't know a different way to see them, however much he cares about that. It's Ted Cruz. He's kind of a squirrely guy, but yeah, you're absolutely right about the small donations, and it's tithe. Like, people will set aside, like, these Christians set aside some all of their tithing money for this specifically. Like, that's no joke.
Yeah. No, it's real. And they go and they volunteer in the Israeli military. A lot of the tourist tourism in Israel is Christians. So like I don't even know what to say.
Every time I'm home, my dad's bringing up red heifer stuff in Israel. Like, every time.
And it's the funniest thing. Like, we hear about it from Christians. I guarantee you, there, like, in Israel, like, within the Jewish community, nobody is talking about the red heifer that supposedly was found.
Yeah.
And I remember on TBN watching, like, 20 years ago, they were talking about the red heifer that was found.
Same, TBN specifically, and yeah. And that's where kind of a monoculture of that, I think, really got reinforced, was the broader TBN viewership. Like, that really brought a bunch of people into it, right around John Hagee's circles. Like, how do we understand Revelation, and there's just an obsession around that.
Yeah.
I think you should let the office on, because I have something to say about Zionism as an Anglo-American imperial project. The land was under British rule, and the British were very much like the Americans of today. You had that group who believed that the Jews should be the master of the land, and they were Bible reading, and they were actively training the forming IDF in the art of war in order to help the Jews retain the land. But there was a majority, like there is today in the British Foreign Office, that was actually in love with the Arab culture. And the British were training and arming the Jordanian Legion. And when the War of 48 started, nobody was selling arms to Israel. Britain was not selling arms to Israel. America wasn't. France wasn't. The only country in Europe that was ready to help us was Czechoslovakia. Under a Soviet guess that we might be a thorn in the side of the Great Britain if we survive. So as it is now, there was no one plot. There were individuals who believe in ideas and were acting against each other within one religion and within one country.
So I guess this conversation is getting close to an end, so I'm going to let Claire come on. Hello, Claire.
Hi, guys.
What did you want to share with us, Claire?
Well, I was very interested to hear you talk about Zionism. I'm delighted that you agree with me that Israel is an American colony. And once you see Israel in these terms, it all becomes clear. But for anti-Semites, their sacred belief system is that it's the other way around, that America and the rest of the West is a colony of the Jews. And so it's very difficult to get them to see things in the correct way, in my view. Because if you look at British history, you will see that the British had an eye on Israel way back in Gladstonian times.
So since Claire won't turn on her thing, I figured we would have a picture of Claire up on the screen for people to listen to what she's saying. Yes, Chad, apparently this is a PvP server.
As I was saying, Israel is an American colony and part of the Anglo-American imperial project. And I don't know if you are familiar with the imperial hymn Jerusalem, based on a poem by William Blake. Do you know it?
I think.
Any of you?
You
might wish to play it.
Which poem?
Jerusalem.
Until we built Jerusalem in England.
That's the one, Yoav.
Yes, in England, not here.
Green and pleasant land. It's obviously
in England. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Blake's
suppose
poem.
Yes.
And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green, and was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here, among these dark satanic mills. Bring me my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrow of desire, bring me my spear, O clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Yeah, British Israelism is actually the origin of Black Hebrew Israelites. That's where they got a lot of their beliefs, and yeah, British Israelitism is an interesting movement that was quite prominent a while ago.
Yes, it's through my connections with the dissident right that I discovered that I knew two British Israelites. And I've always thought they were a bit curious because they kind of sounded like Jews and mostly talked about the Old Testament. And there's an interesting Wikipedia entry on British Israelism. And when you look at it, well, okay, my take on it is that the British were trying to get British Gentiles to go and live in Israel after they got the Palestine Mandate in order to keep an eye on the Arabs and the oil. And that was why they created this false religion to make the British prepare to go and live in Israel, think they are one of the lost tribes of Israel. That was really the whole point of it. And as you know, they didn't hang on to Israel for very long after fighting 2 world wars with the Germans. And so the burden of that passed across to the Atlantic to you guys.
Well, the Christian identity movement and a lot of the white supremacist Christians they also derived their ideas from British Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, but the point was, you have a colony, you need to populate it to make it work for you. And I suppose initially there was, when the British had it, they thought, well, we can't trust the Jews to do it. Look at them, they're not, the fit athletic type. But the Jews of America, after so many centuries of assimilation, who joined the army and navy and the Marines, they were perfect. So off you went to populate the colony of Israel, and you were made to feel more Jewish as a result. Like you got to go and live there and do your Jewish thing and feel more Jewish and work for the American Empire.
So, Claire, how do you see things playing out in the next 5 years in regards to Israel in particular?
I seem to remember in Foreign Policy magazine. Okay, I don't see. I'm certain that there was an article about Israel, and they were talking in terms of, well, we can't afford to fund Israel forever. We have a special relationship with Israel, and we need to prepare to say goodbye to them. I think if you look it up, you can still find it online. And so I think, even then they were thinking, once we do the Abrahamic Accords, I suppose it would be, easier to control Israel in that way. But I guess, the American American foreign policy makers have not decided what to do about it, and I think you are falling into your Thucydides trap anyway, in the same way that the British did in World War I and World War II to stop the rise of Germany. I mean, that was the real reason. It wasn't, the Germans being mean to Jews, because the English are just as anti-Semitic, if not worse. It was really to prevent the rise of Germany by Britain, and that was a real reason, in my view. it's Britain's dirty little secret.
Just a historical anecdote. Also, the Germans had their eyes on the Holy Land, and they found several colonies of Christian Germans. One of them was now in what is now the center of Tel Aviv, and was quite limiting the growth of the new city of Tel Aviv, that has this German colony on its border that it could not expand towards, but otherwise everything was just sand. And then towards the 30s, those German colonies has turned out quite Nazi, and they've fallen into disfavor with the British ruler of the land, and they were all deported. So now the city of Tel Aviv could find more place to grow into what used to be the German colony.
Jerusalem still has an area called the German colony.
And so Haifa, and so is Tel Aviv.
I didn't know that.
In Tel Aviv, it's called Sarona.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not surprising, in that Turkey and Germany were quite close, just because of geographical reasons. And the only reason why the Palestine Mandate went to the British was because Germany supported the wrong side in World War I and had to give up the Palestine Mandate to the British when, Germany lost, well, not officially, but anyway, Germany didn't do very well out of World War I and had to, did in fact lose really. But I mean, obviously it was a surprise. It was an armistice, they thought, and then they squeezed all that, money and reparations out of the Germans. So yeah, but the whole point of the Eastern question, I don't know if it's familiar to you. Did you ever do that? Is that a concept familiar to you? I had to do it as a schoolgirl about British foreign policy in Victorian times and how they were looking to control the Middle East through the Crimean War and all these other little wars that didn't do them very, very much good in the end.
Another historical anecdote, my mother, who is now turning 90, that's apropos trauma for you, Jacob. The first war that she saw was in the Second World War, when Italian bombers were bombing Tel Aviv, because it was under British rule. And just more accurately, the empire that lost the land to the British were the Ottoman, the Turks. For hundreds of years, it was the Ottoman Turkish Empire, and they lost it to the British. The Germans were just an aspiring force, never getting any serious foothold.
Yeah, I remember as a schoolgirl, studying the causes of World War I. It was something to do with, Belgian neutrality that the Germans violated. And then it was more recently that I learned through listening to a radio program that it was a Berlin to Baghdad railway that actually was the real reason for the British declaring war on Germans. Because it was bypassing their control of the sea lanes by building that railway. I mean, the modern equivalent is a Belt and Road Drive, right, of China, and that's why America wants to, smash China before it got too powerful.
I am thinking of winding down this stream. Any last words, Claire?
Not really. I think I've explained to you most of my theories about the geopolitical reasons why America wants to maintain its presence in the Middle East, to maintain its the status of the dollar as a world reserve currency, so that it can continue to export its inflation throughout the world. But as we know, BRICS is trying to bypass that, and that's why it has to be destroyed, I suppose.
Which reminds me, actually, so if you guys have not seen this Crackpot History, it amazes me that it only has 604 subscribers right now. He does an episode by episode breakdown of Martyr Maid histories, Fear and Loathing in Jerusalem. It is absolutely excellent. It's the type of thing. Jason, obviously, you can jump on, especially if you want to talk to Claire. Claire loves Jason. Claire, are you coming to the wedding?
What wedding?
Jason's getting married in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's Yon God.
No, Jan God's already married.
Oh,
No. Is he
Jan-
married?
Yeah, he's as married as
Living in
he's gonna
sin.
get. He's halachically married. He's bechezkat's.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. But Crackpot History, really great channel. I highly recommend it.
I'll go and subscribe. I'm not sure who you mean by Jason.
That's me.
Jason.
Almond Tree. You know
Oh,
me.
yes, you do.
Yeah,
Oh, I know. Yes, we've spoken. You've been on
Yeah.
my channel.
Yeah, I
Nice
came on
to-
one time.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I had some questions. But so I was curious, what school did you grow up in?
Me?
Or yeah, like where'd you grow up and what school did you go to? You were talking about growing.
Well, I was born in Malaysia. I went to boarding school in England
Oh, okay.
in my teens, and I've stayed since.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I was curious. I just hopped on to ask you a few questions because I'm not as familiar with you or anything. I don't think I've really talked to you enough. But what do you have like a religious background or what is it you believe?
My parents are Taoist Buddhist, but because I take an interest in politics, I mean, obviously, I see the political purposes of social conservatism.
You've seen Claire's most famous picture, right?
Yeah,
Yes, you do it
bring
to
that up.
everybody.
Yeah, I have seen
I just
How-
want people to know who they're talking to.
that looks like an old photo too. How old were you in that photo?
I guess, when was that? I think it was taken in 2013,
Okay.
something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
when you were running for mayor, right?
Of what?
No,
Of England?
I was expelled from the party in 2011.
Oh, ouch.
Um,
Okay.
No, that was fine. I mean, it's been quite a journey, really, to discover why democracy doesn't work and what's wrong with everyone
See,
apart from
Yoav,
me.
at least in Britain, they have enough of a democracy that they expel their lunatics.
They used to.
No, this is a problem. Party members have no rights at all. And if you look at the constitution of the Chinese Communist Party, I mean, they have rights to die for, right to a fair trial before they get expelled, right to have legal representation at their trial, right to, criticize their leaders and be trained by the party school, so many things. Well, for all the political parties in the West, you get kicked out and you're damaged goods and nobody wants to have you anymore. And that's why if you join the wrong party, you're stuck with it because nobody will have you after that.
Claire doesn't like to talk about her daughter very much.
Okay.
I don't see what the relevance is.
Jan got asked if you had kids.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay.
derailing real quick, but Jason, congrats to you and Rebecca,
Thank
and
you.
I hope you guys have a great wedding and all that.
Yeah. thank you
Did
so
I
much.
hear you got chrismated into the church?
Yes, we did. Whatever that holiday was, I don't even remember. When did we get baptized? June 8th. Yeah, something. Like that. June 8th.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Many
Michael
years to both
Dunn.
of you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks.
congratulations, Jason.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to get married. It'll be fun. So it's good. It's just busy getting stuff. I gotta go drop off a tux in a few minutes. So, but it's alright.
And Mark's stream is starting in a few minutes. So
well, Claire, just hop over there.
Yeah, people who want to continue the discussion can go to Mark Lefebvre's stream. Yeah.
Yes, well, Mark has blocked me, so I don't think he'll let me on.
I'm not surprised.
I might troll him for a bit.
Well, thank you, Claire, for rolling with the punches.
I have to. No choice. Well, thank you for letting me unload all my foreign policy, imperial theories on you. And yes.
Yeah, I'll try to listen more. I'm still trying to, I guess, I'm still feel like very unfamiliar with what you believe and who you are and stuff like that. Because I think I've only spoken to you maybe 3 times. I don't know. I've seen you around more, but
my best guess. So to put statistics on it, I would say there's about a 55% chance that Claire works for a project similar to the Cybernetic Research Institute. Which you can look up, the Cybernetic Research Institute. Nick Land was very involved in that.
Yeah.
And if Claire doesn't work with them, she may have a parallel project. I don't know if George Soros is funding her. I'm not sure.
Claire, do you deny these accusations?
Of course I do, but I mean, Jacob likes to romanticize me and to some kind of Marvel supervillainess. So I can't complain, can I?
That's exactly what you would say.
The next most likely possibility is she works for some intelligence agency. My guess would be the British, but it may be the Chinese, the Malaysians. It's not.
Well,
the Mossad. It's always the Mossad in there.
I would. Mossad.
He's complimenting himself because he's saying he's extremely intelligent, and so you have to hang around here to pick up on all these. That's what it really is.
And then there's the very slight possibility that she is an incredibly productive, incredibly smart person who at the same time doesn't realize that for 20 years she's been trying to push an idea that doesn't even have one adherent on the internet. Do you realize how hard you have to work to be as well known as Claire Kaw? And Claire Kaw is not just some random person on the internet. She is a well-known quantity in the most fringe parts of the internet. Like, everyone who believes in flat Earth knows who Claire Kaw is.
No way. Are you a flat earther?
No, I can't bear those people. But yes, I do a few.
But they do know about you.
Are you a flat earther?
But I don't talk to them.
And she hasn't been able to convince a single human being.
Those nerds.
Because they're Islamophobes and they're incorrigibly Islamophobes and anti-Semites.
And it's very easy to believe that it's incompetence, but I don't believe it is incompetence. Because Claire is too smart. Claire is a qualified barrister in the UK. And Claire has never been jailed for saying things that in Great Britain are definitely illegal. She has been arrested, but never jailed.
Yeah, because I discuss ideas and I don't target individuals or groups. That's the way I stay out of trouble, unless they say, you must not discuss anti-Semitism or Islamophobia. So I am the kind of link between Jews and anti-Semites, Islamophobes and Muslims, and various groups who hate each other. And I was going to run this idea by you, Jacob, about, you were talking about the Messiah.
Yeah.
earlier, and I think you as you were saying, you can't just call for the Messiah to come because you don't know what to do and you want the world to end. And this is basically it. When you want the world to end, you want the Messiah to come because it's associated with the end times. And I was thinking, with all my credentials that you have so kindly given to me, I could be Messiah substitute. Just come to tell you guys that the Messiah ain't coming, and therefore you have to adopt the intermediate measure of global secular Quranism to sort your problems out.
Oh, I wanted to congratulate you on your
on
your interview with Black Pigeon Speaks. I mean, and he spoke quite highly of Claire. And for the people who don't know, Black Pigeon Speaks has a very large audience among the insane right.
Are they flat earthers?
Well, they kind of have a certain view of Jews, and about 500,000 subscribers he has.
Yeah,
508, I think. Yes.
A certain view of Jews.
Well, I mean, I do try to tell them, well, maybe it isn't the Jews. Maybe it's because you have this religion that hasn't been working for you guys for quite a while, considering it didn't prevent the fall of the Roman Empire or the fall of Christendom in 1918. But nobody has noticed.
Nobody has noticed.
1918 was a long time ago, well, over 100 years ago. When you think
Jacob noticed that it's not working.
Well, I think it's probably the problem caused by the British monarchy, because it's the only one of any fame going, and because the British monarchy controls Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, it helps the American global empire do its stuff. And that's why Americans are really quite keen on supporting the monarchy, because if you watch The Crown, which is made by Netflix, obviously it was made by American money.
Do you know what made you so interested in politics? Like when you got started, like what shifted for you?
I guess it was what the grown-ups did when I was a child, and I would go to my grandfather's house every Sunday, and there would be all my relations discussing politics, and I kind of liked the talk because I couldn't understand it, and until I did, I still found it interesting, and yes. But now nobody discusses politics, even with family members, if they still have family members.
Yeah, it's usually pretty controversial.
Yeah, well, that's why we're all here, discussing politics with people you'll never meet, which I think is actually very unproductive.
But Claire, you actually met Black Pigeon Speaks. You met with Paul Vanderklay. You met with Tayo. You've met with lots of people.
I know. I'm still shouting
and I'm
about
going to Jason's wedding. What do you mean? I've met Jason.
He's met me.
Oh, good for you. But perhaps Jason isn't quite as notorious as me.
I know. I'm not. I'm working on it. I need this. That's why I hopped on, just to try to grift off of Claire Call right now. If I'm being honest.
Well, she is broadcasting the stream to her channel.
Oh, she is. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There must be at least one person watching.
Well, everybody go vote. America's favorite couple. Jason.
Oh, right. You guys are still running for the. Yeah. Jason is running for. So you can. Everybody gets one vote unless they pay for it. And if you pay $20,000, you might get close to Jason winning the $20,000. I am sure
maybe
the person who actually wins will have spent more than the prize money to win that contest.
Yeah, but maybe they'll get to meet Jeff Goldblum. That's the real prize, I believe.
Really? You get to meet Jeff Goldblum?
I don't know. Apparently him and his wife are doing the competition or something. I don't even know. I don't even know how Becca found it. Claire is the most notorious woman in the corner. She is pretty well known.
Yes, definitely. And apparently, you look like a young Jeff Goldblum.
Which one? The one from Jurassic Park? That's the one I'm going for.
I don't know. The PBK apparently can't get the image of a naked Jason out of his mind.
What the Fly? Jeff Goldblum played the Fly, right?
Did he? I don't know. I haven't seen all of his movies.
I think he did. Yeah,
he was great in Life.
That was quite good. The Fly.
He's okay, we really are in fact going to wrap this up soon because Mark's stream does start in 5 minutes. So Jason, if you had any final questions you wanted to ask Claire, or
I would just the only thing I would say is, Claire, you should turn your camera on more. It's fun to see your face.
No, I don't think I'm fit to be seen. But before I go, Jacob, I just wanted to congratulate you on I haven't actually even listened to all your what you were talking about with Dr. Paul Lockwood.
Okay.
But I was interested in what you were saying about insurance and lighthouses and large risks and not being government to make lighthouses, and I'll have to go back over how the insurance system works, and mental health problems can I guess be grown out of thin air, which must be scary for the insurers.
So two recommendations. Lloyd's of London, An Illustrated History sounds like it's a children's book, but it's not. It's probably the best history of insurance I've ever read, and it's good enough that if you can find a copy, I highly recommend it, and it's interesting. The second would be The Madness of Crowds by Douglas Murray, who explains the madness of crowds, if you're interested in those topics. And once you've read the two of those, you should understand basically everything I was saying in that stream yesterday. Yoav, final words.
Final answer to Jon God's final question. He asked whether in 5 years Israel will get to the borders between the Nile and the Euphrates. And Jon God is reading the Bible with me, Kings A. And there you have the answer. How did King Solomon get to his large kingdom? Through a set of political alliances. He married the daughter of Paro. He married the daughters of the Syrians. And he had his enemies exiled to Egypt. And this is how you get a kingdom in the Middle East. Just make friends.
Make friends.
Okay. Thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you for everyone who didn't participate. As usual, the big stars were just listening. They didn't actually participate. But good night and Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too far.
There a proverb that says something like, don't answer a fool according to his folly.
But there's a proverb that says, answer a fool according to his folly.
There is. Exactly right. I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank you, Reverend.
Good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah. The